You're this perp back with another video, and I just got done checking out the brand new Netflix movie called Blonde. This is kind of a biopic of Marilyn Monroe, also known by her real name, uh, Norma Jeane Baker. And this is a very interesting movie. There's a lot of controversy surrounding this movie for the people that got to see this early. A lot of people are calling it disgusting, a disservice, a mockery, or just exploitive. Um, and I just want to kind of give you my point of view on all this because I'm not too familiar with everything surrounding Marilyn Monroe's life. We've only had like rumors or just certain things being put out. Don't go into this movie thinking you're going to get a very lighthearted story about Marilyn Monroe's life. This is completely opposite, and I could see where a lot of people will be upset while watching this movie. You know, Marilyn Monroe has like been a huge icon amongst pop culture. You know what I'm saying? She was into acting, modeling, singing. She was very much the very first like it girl, or just that sex symbol. You know, way before the Madonnas, way before the Nicki Minaj's and Kim Kardashians and stuff. And you still see a lot of what they try to do with Marilyn Monroe with a lot of different artists nowadays. And I want to kind of talk about this from a different perspective because I'm not too familiar with just her background. And I like how we start off with getting to know Norma Jeane as just Norma before she becomes Marilyn Monroe, which I think they could have done more with that kind of transition. They kind of just throw you into her life. You know, her mom is kind of going through something mentally. Her father's really not in the picture. And like there's these California fires and stuff like that. That was really well shot. I will have to say this movie was really well shot. At times it was really confusing. Like when you're watching the trailer for this movie, you're thinking that this whole movie is going to be in black and white, but it's in black and white, but also at other times it's in color. It's very confusing, and sometimes it goes from that like weird, 4:3 aspect ratio to back to like 16:9. It's just really weird how they kind of structured that. I think that was just like an artistic thing. They could have just kept this whole movie in black and white. I would have preferred that. But anyways, like you're just kind of going through Norma's life, you know, and just her struggling with trying to just deal with all this fame, but also wanting to just live her life as Norma. But nobody really calls her Norma. Everybody just calls her Marilyn Monroe or Mrs. Monroe. Nobody really calls her by her first name. I've noticed that looking back at this movie. Now the controversial stuff. This movie is NC-17, which I really don't. As I'm watching this, I really don't understand why it needed that rating until I got to the JFK part. That whole scene could have probably been that whole scene definitely could have been cut out of the movie. That was really wild. There's also a grape scene. Can't say the actual word, but that's in here as well. So if that's gonna bother you, if that's gonna be an issue, I would kind of steer away from this movie. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not gonna be for you. But what I kind of saw with this movie, as far as my perspective goes, is just kind of seeing everything from Marilyn or Norma's perspective as just Norma, and her just kind of being split into just becoming this stage name and less of herself. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was the real main theme of this, and just how this happens to a lot of celebrities and a lot of stars, that, you know, people forget that these people are actually human, or they're actual people, and they're more than just their stage name. And some people have to just kind of live up into that stage name to the point where it's kind of like messing with them mentally, and you kind of really see that decline with Norma's character, where, you know, she's going through all these different phases, like even with her marriages, abusive ones, some that are actually stable, but also dealing with the fact that she seems to not be able to, there's always some weird stuff that happens with her when she gets pregnant. She's not able to like bear children. It's very sad. It's a very sad depiction of this character, and I can see why some people will be very upset with just this movie overall and just not liking it. But it's just it's the realness of just, this is what happens to celebrities, and it's still happening to this day, that, you know, they get put on these pedestals. And even with just social media, I think it'd be much worse for somebody like Marilyn Monroe, just like having to deal with all the hate comments and stuff like that, people just calling you a whore, this, that, and the third, and just throwing a lot of smut on your name, and just, it's crazy. And the actress that plays Norma, or Marilyn Monroe, I had no idea she was like, what is it, Spanish? She's like, she's Cuban, which threw me off, because it's like, damn, that's just kind of an odd casting choice. But then can't really be upset with this when they casted somebody like what's his face as Tony Montana. Drawing a blank. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Al Pacino. Damn, I don't know why I just like blanked off on that real quick. But anyways, I think she did a good job portraying the character. She damn near looks like her with blonde hair and whatnot. But if you saw the actress like with her regular hair, you're just like, yeah, you could have probably gone with like Scarlett Johansson or something like that. It is what it is. It's not a big deal to me. Yeah, I definitely see this movie rubbing people the wrong way. For me, I think I can kind of give a different perspective just because I don't know that much information on her. I just see it as a movie just showing you how really disgusting and just how vile Hollywood is with people, you know what I'm saying? That they will chew you up and spit you out, you know, just like that, just use you up for everything that your talents, your looks, whatever, until they don't need you no more, and they just throw you out like trash. And it's very upsetting too. And just, this movie ends really dark, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Marilyn Monroe, or Norma, she died of an overdose, or people claiming it as a suicide and whatnot. And it's really sad. It's unfortunate that this still goes on in the entertainment industry. But yeah, I want to know your thoughts on this movie. Like, what exactly did they get everything wrong about Marilyn Monroe's character, aka Norma's character? Do you think they could have definitely cut out like a lot of these scenes and stuff? Because I feel like this movie is way too long. That's probably like the biggest negative I've had with this movie, is that this movie's damn near 3 hours long. You could have cut this down to like 2 hours and like 15 minutes, 20 minutes at max. Overall, it's up to you if you want to check this out. I would say just to check it out if you're curious, if you're wondering what the controversy is, or what's going to be the big talk of over the next few days, because I definitely think that JFK scene is going to be the most talked about scene, or the most controversial scene, more so than the grape scene. I think there's a lot to kind of talk about and dissect with this movie. Like I said, it's up to you if you want to check it out or not. I would, just to kind of get your own kind of perspective, and don't just go off of what I'm saying or whatever anybody else is saying. If they dislike it, you might end up actually liking it, not for, you know, the controversial stuff, but you might just like the performance of the actress that's portraying Marilyn Monroe, or you just might like the way that it's shot, because it's definitely inspired by that time period. I can appreciate it for that much, but I just think a lot of things in this movie are really unnecessary, like I said. But let me know how you guys feel about this if you get around to watching it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Till next time, I'm out.